exposure here. I am just out on this Labor Day to do a little bit of shooting and get more comfortable with my Kimber micro carry. I mentioned in a previous video, in fact the most recent video that I posted, which was the Car CW 380 Part 2 or Chapter 2, and I compared it to this Kimber through part of the video. And the reason that I wanted to come out and actually shoot today is I needed to get more comfortable with the Kimber. So by doing that, I feel like I'll become more confident in shooting the firearm, and actually when I decide to carry it more full-time, I'll feel more comfortable with it. So just trying to get some lead down range and enjoy some time out in the mountains by myself today. Really at this point I'm about 50 rounds into today's shooting and just having a really great time. The gun is performing really well. I've had no problems with it, and yeah, I can't complain about the experience that I'm having with the gun today. I'm feeling way more confident with it. The thing that was giving me the biggest problem is the fact that this is a single action firearm and functions a lot like a 1911. It's a brand new type of platform for me, and I'm not super familiar with what to do in a high stress situation, so I'm trying to work on that a little bit today. Shooting with Herder's 95 grain jacketed hollow point, so enjoy. Welcome to the tabletop, guys. At this point of the video, I thought I'd share some more of my thoughts on this particular gun now that I've had it for several months, and I've shot way more rounds through it now than when I first did a video on this gun. So like a recent video that I posted, we'll call this a Chapter 2 review of the Kimber micro carry. As you saw in portions of the video so far, I've been able to get out recently. I went out on Labor Day and I shot a good amount of rounds through the gun and spent a lot of that time trying to get more familiar and comfortable with a single action platform, or 1911, whatever you want to call it. But this basically is a mini 1911. It models after the Colt Mustang, and this gun, the SIG P238, and the Kimber are basically all the same firearm. There's a few differences in them, and my personal opinion is the Kimber probably has the best features of it. I think it's the best built. That's not to say that the SIG or the Colt are not good guns, especially the Colt being the first design of this. I don't want to put them down in any way, but in my hand and when I'm shooting it, I prefer the Kimber over the other two, and I've had the chance to shoot the other two at this point. So there's several more models of this gun that are available than when I first purchased it back in December of 2014. And the biggest difference on the stainless version now is you don't get these 3-dot sights. They're just a black post for the front sight and then black on the back, and kind of like the Ruger LCP or some of these other micro carry 380 firearms. So the gun comes with one magazine. I've purchased a second magazine, and I thought I'd talk about the ammo that I carry. In the video, I mentioned that I was shooting Herder's jacketed hollow points. Not true, I was shooting Herder's Full Metal Jacket 95 grain. What I carry, however, is this Barnes TAC XPD bullet, and this is an 80 grain bullet, but it does cycle through the Kimber without any problems. I haven't had like any misfeeds or failure to feeds or failures to eject because of it. There's a video out there somewhere of the Glock 42 shooting this bullet, and it doesn't cycle. You don't have to worry about that with the Barnes and the Kimber. It cycles just fine, it's not a problem. So I really like it. It's a nice bullet, so I'd recommend it as an option. So I've got 2 magazines. These are both 6-round magazines. Something I'd point out as well about this that I believe is different from the SIG, and I think is a cool function of the SIG P238. If the gun is empty, by the way, I'm going to pull the trigger. If the thumb safety is up and your hammer is down, you cannot rack the slide. It will not go back. Thumb safety must be down. Then you can cock the hammer if you do it by hand or push the slide back. So whether or not that really is an issue, I don't know if you are carrying the firearm cocked and locked, that it's too big of a problem or if it's something to be concerned about. But it is something to note about this particular gun that the SIG does that this one doesn't. So there's no magazine disconnect. The gun will fire if there's no magazine in there. Beautiful trigger. I think in a previous video I talked about, because it is a single action, it feels like, I'm not going to really talk about poundage, but it feels super clean. Maybe 5 pounds if you want to say it. And it's just really nice. It has a good reset. Like nothing. And it's what you would expect from a single action firearm anyway. That's kind of the purpose. So the gun is really dirty right now. I haven't cleaned it in like probably 500 rounds, and I think I'll clean it tonight when I get some time. But the gun functions nearly flawlessly for me. I've had one failure to feed, and really that came from operator error. I rode the slide with my hand, and it didn't have as much like spring action to it. So that was really the only problem I've ever had with the gun. I've never had a failure to eject. I've never had, besides that one problem that I said I had, regular, typical function of the firearm, it has been 100%, 0 problems. Just a fantastic gun. Shoots really well. It's easy to conceal, and the gun is a fantastic, confident firearm to have on your side. The issue that I am still working with is I'm not very confident in myself in the functions of the gun, that if I have to draw the gun out of the holster and drop the thumb safety and then fire, that I'm going to be able to do that in a high stress situation. But I have been carrying it a little bit more recently, and I've been feeling more confident after I went out and shot on Labor Day. I carried it like 2 or 3 times this week, and I felt better about it because I spent some time with the gun training. So yeah, cannot complain about this gun whatsoever. It's beautiful, it looks good, and it's worth the money that I spent on it. Absolutely worth every single penny that I spent on it. I've never regretted once buying this over other guns that I have. So, and we'll get back to more shooting. Thanks, guys.